this, my wrap up, telling you what I thought of these books at the end of the month. Book number 1, I actually bought on Amazon a while ago now, like a week, and it still hasn't arrived, so I'm hoping it is going to get here eventually. But it is a self-development book called The Secret World of Sleep. I chose it because I went through a period very recently where I just could not sleep at all, and I couldn't figure out if it was stress or grief, or if I was coming down with something, or I don't know, there was some noise in the night, or just anything, or a combination of everything. So I figured I would turn to books as ever to help me try and figure it out. I'm not sure that this book necessarily is going to do that for me or give me any insight, but it did sound really interesting, so I'm going to read you the blurb so that you can see why it appealed to me. World-renowned neurologist and sleep expert Dr. Guy Leschziner takes you through various sleep conditions and how they arise and affect people. Insomnia, narcolepsy, night terrors, and apnea are just some of the conditions afflicting those struggling with sleep. Then there are the extreme cases, the people frightened into paralysis by hallucinations, the woman in a state of deep sleep who gets dressed and goes for a drive, the teenager with sleeping beauty syndrome, stuck in a cycle of excessive unconsciousness, and the man who cleans out kitchens while sleep eating. To be honest, it sounds super interesting, if a little scary. So you can see what I mean in that I'm not sure it's going to help somebody with a bout of sleeplessness like me. It seems far more extreme than that, but it does sound like I'm going to learn a lot about a lot of sleep conditions that I had no idea about. So I'm looking forward to it if it ever arrives, and hopefully it won't be too dry in its writing as well. So that's book number 1. The second book of the month is the history and biography top pick from the 2018 Goodreads Choice Awards, so a book list book, and that book is The Good Neighbour, The Life and Work of Fred Rogers. I'm not gonna lie, not being American, I have no idea who this man is. I think the only thing I know is that I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks played him in a movie that I also have not seen, and that's as far as my knowledge goes. So I also haven't read the blurb of this because it's a book list book, so I have no choice. So I will read it to you now, and I'm sure I'm going to learn something immediately. Fred Rogers was an enormously influential pioneer in the history of television for almost 40 years. As the creator and star of public television's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he was a champion of compassion, equality, and kindness. Rogers was fiercely devoted to children and to taking their fears, concerns, and questions about the world seriously. The Good Neighbour, the first full-length biography of Fred Rogers, tells the story of this unique and enduring American figure. Based on original interviews, oral histories, and archival documents, The Good Neighbour traces Rogers' personal, professional, and artistic life through decades of work. The Good Neighbour is the definitive portrait of a beloved figure cherished by multiple generations. I love memoirs. I've said this quite a few times on the channel now. I love reading about people, celebrity or not, or points in history. I find it fascinating, and I love learning new things, so I'm very intrigued. I like also when a memoir has pictures in it. I feel like it just adds more depth to the person, especially if you've never heard of them before. It's quite a chunky book, even if you take out the pictures, and also the font is quite small. So Reading this second, I hope he had as interesting a life and career as the back says, so it doesn't take me the whole month just to get through it. But that is book number 2. Book number 3 is a personal choice book, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know how much I enjoy this series. It's called the Thursday Murder Club series, and this is, I believe, the last book in the series. This is book 4, and it's called The Last Devil to Die. I don't know if it is genuinely the last one and it's going to wrap up at the end, or if it's just that I've caught up with the author and he hasn't written another one yet. So I've kind of avoided looking it up because I think it would spoil it for me, and I want to read this and be shocked or upset or whatever it is. However I feel at the end, I want to find that out for myself. Saying that, I will read you the blurb. I also have not read this blurb yet. Shocking news reaches the Thursday Murder Club. Oh no. An old friend in the antiques business has been killed, and a dangerous package he was protecting has gone missing. As the gang spring into action, they encounter art forgers, online fraudsters, and drug dealers, as well as heartache close to home. Oh no. With the body count rising, the package still missing, and trouble firmly on their tail, has their luck finally run out? And who will be the last devil to die? Oh no. I know they're all really old. The whole premise of the series is that it's a group of pensioners in this retirement village who are investigating the murders or different kind of crimes, but I don't want any of them to die. I don't think my heart could take it at this stage. I'm hoping it is still just as funny as the others. I'm hoping it doesn't end in heartache. But I'm very excited to read this book. So this is book number 3. Book number 4 is a self-development book and the first Kindle book of the month. And it's called Get Your Shit Together. I'm assuming I can say that word. And to be honest, it's come up quite a few times over the years when I've looked for self-development books to read, and I just never got round to reading it. So now is my chance. But I'll read you the blurb. So it says, ever find yourself snowed under at the office, or even just glued to the sofa when you really want to get out for once, get to the gym at last, and get started on that daunting dream project you're always putting off? Then it's time to get your shit together. In the life-changing magic of not giving an F, anti-guru Sarah Knight introduced the joys of mental decluttering. Get Your Shit Together takes you one step further, organising the Fs you want and need to give to help you quit your day job and move abroad, balance work and fun, and save money while you're at it, or simply get out of the door for happy hour every day. I'm assuming this isn't like fiction, where I'm going to need to have read the previous book to understand what the hell is going on. Because this obviously is the first one of her books that I've read. I do actually have another one. I don't think it's the life-changing magic of not giving an F. There's another one that I have in my self-development TBR, but I figured I won't buy it or add it to any lists yet until I know if I like this one or not, if that makes sense. But we'll see. You'll have to check back in at the end of the month to see what I actually think of it. But that is book number sisters see their parents murdered in front of them. The terrifying assassin abducts all three girls to the world of fairy, where Jude is installed in the royal court, but mocked and tormented by the fairy royalty for being mortal. I'm assuming I'm saying that word right. Fairy. F-A-E-R-I-E. Feel free to correct me in the comments. As Jude grows older, she realizes that she will need to take part in the dangerous deceptions of the Fae to ever truly belong. But the stairway to power is fraught with shadows and betrayal, and looming over all is the infuriating, arrogant, and charismatic Prince Cardan. Why do I get the feeling that this book is going to have a lot of spice in it? I have my reservations, but maybe it will be another great fantasy read, and it will put me one step closer towards being a fully converted fantasy genre fan. Who knows? But that is going to be book 5 for me in June. Book 6 is something a little different for my personal choice selection. If you watched my recent video, it's a mystery haul video, you'll know I have 5 books that I am going to weave into reading at some point over the next few months. And so I'm going to pick one at random today to be my book 6 for June. So we'll find out together which lucky duck will be the chosen one. I have to say there are some that I am more willing to read than others. So here are the 5. It's actually probably, makes far more sense to show you the actual spines. Right, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to lay them out and then just pick. Here we go. Lucky winner. The Forgotten Seamstress. When Caroline Meadows discovers a beautiful quilt in her mother's attic, she sets out on a journey to discover who made it and the meaning of the mysterious message embroidered into its lining. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't actually sound that terrible. I think it seems like it flips between Caroline Meadows in the present and then just before the First World War, Maria, who is I'm assuming the woman who made the beautiful quilt. So you never know. I have read a book where it kind of weaves the past and the present together, and it was quite good. So I will keep my mind open for this one. But this is book 6 for me in June. And finally, book 7 of the month is back into the self-development category. I feel like we've looped into the self-development category a lot this month. But anyways, it is called Thinking Fast and Slow. And I'm almost positive this was a recommendation from a subscriber. And mainly because usually I pick books that have actions or exercises that you can go and implement into your own life, whereas I think this book is far more about cognitive systems and I guess the theory behind how we think, because there's no real blurb in the book. There's nothing on the inside cover, and there's just quotes on the back. But I will say the font is smaller than the Mr. Rogers book. This is the last book of the month, so there is a chance it is going to be a sprint finish. I'm hoping